Authorities in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia have set mandatory guidelines and health protocols that pilgrims need to follow while performing the rituals of this year's Hajj season. The Kingdom's National Center for Disease Prevention and Control unveiled health protocols for the Hajj season, as well as several general guidelines for health workers and practitioners regarding the Hajj season. 2 weeks ago, the Ministry of Hajj and Umrah announced that this year's Hajj season will be limited in the number of pilgrims and confined to Saudis and expatriate residents to ensure the safety of pilgrims and prevent the spread of the COVID-19 pandemic. Officials at the epicenter of the worsening coronavirus crisis in the United States warned their hospitals were in danger of being overwhelmed by the upsurge of new coronavirus cases. The U.S. has struggled to respond to the devastation wrought by the virus, with its national death toll rising to near 130,000 out of 2.8 million confirmed cases, and many states hit by increasing infections after lockdowns were eased. Hospital beds are full in parts of Texas, while calls for fresh stay-at-home orders are growing. India faces similar challenges as it clocked a record daily number of cases across a vast nation, where medical facilities are uneven and many COVID-19 infections are likely to be undiagnosed. The border between Australia's two most populous states will close from Tuesday for an indefinite period as authorities scramble to contain an outbreak of COVID-19 in the city of Melbourne. The decision, announced on Monday, marks the first time the border between Victoria and New South Wales has been shut in 100 years. Officials last blocked movement between the two states in 1919 during the Spanish flu pandemic. The move will, however, likely be a blow to Australia's economic recovery as it heads into its first recession in nearly 3 decades. The Premier of Australia's second most populous state, Victoria, defended on Monday his decision to put 9 public housing towers in a complete lockdown as COVID-19 cases continue to rise in Melbourne's suburbs. The state recorded 74 cases on Sunday after Saturday's 108 cases prompted Premier Daniel Andrews to order about 3,000 people not to leave their homes for at least 5 days and to place police to guard the buildings. Promising 2 weeks of free rent and hardship payments to the residents, Premier Andrews said public health workers would test every resident of the buildings except those who have previously tested positive. The presidency announced Madagascar had placed its capital, Antananarivo, under a fresh lockdown following a new surge in coronavirus infections 2 months after the restrictions were eased, the presidency said in a statement. The Analamanga region, under which the capital is situated, is returning to full lockdown. No traffic will be allowed in or out of the region starting Monday until July 20th. A strict curfew will be imposed on street movement by people. The lockdown officially lifted across England over the weekend after nearly 15 weeks, although people had been casting a blind eye to the restrictions way before this, after Prime Minister Boris Johnson's chief advisor caused a national uproar 6 weeks ago by justifying his repeated breaking of restrictions. More people have started to embrace at best the spirit rather than the letter of the guidelines, and at worst ignoring them altogether. Meanwhile, research suggests delays to cancer diagnosis and treatments due to coronavirus could cause up to 35,000 excess deaths in the UK within a year. In the worst-case scenario, if delays continue, there could be 35,000 additional cancer deaths. Germany's Chancellor, he is ready for negotiations with Israel on the basis of the United Nations resolutions and under the auspices of the International Quartet. President Abbas and Chancellor Angela Merkel discussed the latest political developments in the region in a phone call, mainly Israeli plans to annex occupied Palestinian territory. Established in 2002, the Middle East Quartet consists of the US, Russia, the European Union and the UN. According to the UN, its mandate is to help mediate Middle East peace negotiations and to support Palestinian economic development and institution building in preparation for eventual statehood. The Islamic Republic of Iran's atomic energy spokesman said an accident at a nuclear complex in Iran caused significant damage and could slow the production of centrifuges used to enrich uranium. According to the Islamic Republic's nuclear body, the incident happened on Thursday at a warehouse under construction at the Natanz complex in central Iran, but caused no casualties or radioactive pollution. Security officials called it an accident and said they had determined the cause without providing any further explanation. A spokesman for Iran's nuclear agency, Behruz Kamalvandi, said that work had begun on the center in 2013 and it was inaugurated in 2018. Croatia's ruling centre-right Croatian Democratic Union, or HDZ, has convincingly won a parliamentary election held at a time of rising coronavirus infections and a sharp economic downturn due to the pandemic. The official results, after around 60% of votes were counted, gave the HDZ 68 seats in the 151-seat parliament, while its top opponent, the Social Democrats and its small allies, secured 43 seats. Nationalist and Eurosceptic Bloc Homeland Movement, led by popular singer Miroslav Sakharov, came third with 15 seats, followed by the Conservative Bridge Party with 8 seats and leftist We Can with 6 seats. Over 50 people were shot, 6 fatally, on the July 4th weekend in New York City as Americans celebrated their Independence Day. According to New York City Police Department, or NYPD spokesperson, 51 people were shot in 34 separate incidents across the city from Friday to Sunday. News reports said that at least 6 people died of gunshot wounds since midnight on Saturday. The Big Apple has seen a surge in gun violence in the past few months. According to the NYPD's citywide crime statistics for May, there were 100 shooting incidents, representing a 64% increase compared to the same period last year. Police said 8 people, all of the passengers and crew members on board, are believed to have died after 2 planes collided in mid-air and crashed into a lake in Idaho on Monday. Lieutenant Ryan Higgins of the Kootenai County Sheriff's Office said in a statement, "At this time, it is believed there are no survivors." He said at least 2 people were pronounced dead at the scene. It was not immediately clear what may have led to the crash. Flooding and the risk of more mudslides that left at least 34 people confirmed or presumed dead have hampered rescue operations in southern Japan, including at aged care homes where more than a dozen died and scores are still stranded. Helicopters and boats rescued more people from their homes in Kumamoto region. More than 40,000 defense troops, the Coast Guard and fire brigades were taking part in the operation. Large areas along the Kuma River were swallowed by floodwaters. Japan's weather agency warned of more mudslides and floods in the affected areas, as heavy rain is expected to continue across the country through Tuesday.